The Meek Mill beef saga has been a pretty varied one so far. We've seen him beef with Drake for Drake not tweeting in support of his album, and beef with Safari over Nicki Minaj, and even beef on Twitter with Nicki Minaj herself after they broke up. Those situations occurred after Meek was already a big rap artist. But I'm gonna take it back further now to Meek's first mainstream rap beef. Philadelphia natives Meek Mill and Cassidy have a history going back quite a while. According to Cassidy, they worked together on music before Meek was big, and there's even video footage online of them freestyling together before the beef. Things heated up between the two back in 2012, allegedly due to a misunderstanding that went on regarding Meek Mill stating that he wants to rap battle either Cassidy or Murda Mook. He clarified later on that he meant he wanted to see Cassidy battle Murda Mook, not him battle one of them himself. Personally, I don't see how that misunderstanding even happened, but hey. Cassidy agreed to battle Meek for the right price, but according to Cassidy, Meek backed out of it, and then things went off on Twitter. Cassidy then released the track Me, Myself, and iPhone in December that year, which featured some lines aimed at Meek Mill. Those lines being, he said he wanna battle niggas, but when I took him up on his offer, he started to reconsider. That cat lame, on every song he rapped the same. That cat changed, he got a deal and don't act the same. That nigga wildin' cause he sold a couple 100,000, but I sold triple what that nigga sold my first album. He not selling cause that nigga can't stop yelling. That would be the first shot on wax from the beef. Meek Mill responded shortly afterwards with the track Repo, going right back at Cassidy, starting his verse with the lines, "Really? Effing condom style? Get your jig on? You a clown ass nigga, put a wig on. Nigga, I be going ham till the pig gone. All this ice around my neck, I got a fridge on. Body cast, put him in a body bag. Broke nigga, we should put you in a body cast." It's clearly no subliminal diss. Condom Style is a reference to the track that Cassidy had recently released, which was a remix of the hit single Gangnam Style by Korean artist Fray. Gangnam Style was the biggest song of the year, and Cassidy released the track to promote safe sex and apparently received a deal with Trojan due to the song. He also makes a reference to the rap battle conversation that started the whole situation with the lines, "And you talking about a battle rap? How you gonna handle that? 100 grand pussy nigga, you ain't got the tab for that. You ain't got the stacks for that. You the one we laughing at. You ain't got half of that. They pump you up, asthma attack." The rap battle that was supposed to happen was gonna be for 100K according to Meek, and of course, he uses that to try to diss Cassidy, saying that he can't afford it. Also, as the song title suggests, he makes a reference to Cassidy's vehicle allegedly being repossessed, once again essentially calling him broke. Later in that song, Meek has the lines, "Get your hate on, Cass, and we ain't talking larceny because they all trash, and your goons ain't riding with you, they all mad." Larceny is a reference to Larceny Family, the rap group including Cassidy, A.R.Ab, and others. A.R.Ab, who by this point had fallen out with Cassidy, made a video responding to Meek Mill's Repo track, essentially confirming what Meek had said about Cassidy not helping out A.R.Ab when they were fighting the murder case.
Describe your relationship with Cassidy.
I talked to, I made the video, the blog about Cass. Where I was talking some things about him, which is all true. You know what I mean? He left me, I mean, I was broke. You know what I'm saying? It was this incident where we caught the homicide. Well, we got locked up for the homicide, and he had 2 lawyers. He ain't give me no lawyer.
Long story short, Cassidy and A.R.Ab were fighting the case, and wound up doing some time for it. A.R.Ab claims that Cassidy didn't give him money at all while he was locked up, and states that he's still cool with Cassidy, and he's cool with Meek as well, and he's not going to get involved with the beef, but yet still admitted that those specific lines in the diss track were true. Ironically, a few years later, Meek Mill and A.R.Ab would be beefing, and Cassidy would be asked in interviews about their beef himself. One of the members of Larceny Family, Chubby Jag, responded to the Repo diss with the track Worst Nightmare. The title, of course, you could assume is a reference to Meek's debut album, Dreams and Nightmares, which had just dropped in October that year. Jag rips through Meek Mill quite directly, no subliminal disses needed. He mentions Meek by name over a dozen times, and Rick Ross even called her stray too. He also makes a reference to the situation where fellow MMG artist Gunplay got jumped by G-Unit with the lines, "Kick back, cause one day you gon' see me, one day that ish gon' go one way, G-Unit on Gunplay." On the outro of the song, he also mentions having been in Meek's house before, that most likely being a reference to the footage of Cassidy and Meek Mill freestyling at Meek's place with others. One of them appears to be Jag. Even Meek's baby mother was not off limits, with lines talking about her being bald. Shortly afterwards, Jag filmed a video response to the situation where he talked about exactly why he dropped a diss song. He stated that he was responding to the Larceny family line in the Repo diss and that he didn't do it on behalf of Cassidy, and that lines from the diss track like being in Meek's house before are all true.
You feel me? I didn't do this shit for Cass. Cass didn't call me, yo Jag, snap on niggas or jump in your bag and do this. Cass didn't do none of that. Like none of, you know what I'm saying? Nah, I didn't even speak to Cass. Matter of fact, you feel me? Niggas want to know the truth. Cass was in LA when I dropped my shit. The morning I went to his hotel room, he opened the door, he just checking his shit on his phone, he didn't even know what the fuck happened, you feel me? I clearly responded because, you know what I'm saying, my man, you feel me, he had a specific line in his rap that said, you know what I'm saying, that I ain't talking Larceny because they all trash. He fuck with AR Ab. Like, y'all know, of course, Cass had his old Larceny niggas he fuck with, but I ain't never met them niggas. I've been fucking with Cass for like 4 years, you know what I'm saying? No disrespect to them niggas. I never seen those niggas around, so whatever relationship he had with the old Larceny fam members, I wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know nothing about that. So when the nigga said, nigga, them Larceny niggas trash, I took it as he was disrespecting me. Cause if he wasn't talking about AR, apparently that's his man.
He also mentioned that he's not even from Philly like they are, and that he's from Los Angeles, and didn't appreciate the sneak diss aimed in his direction, as he stated that at the time, Larceny was him and Cassidy, so it had to be aimed at himself.
He had to be talking about me. Where I come from, nigga, in South Central LA, like niggas don't talk like that. You don't come at nobody in anything that you doing. I don't care if we having a chefing contest and niggas is on the stove cooking and the niggas say he cook better than me. Nigga, nah. And people around and niggas seeing this shit that's going down and I'm not gonna respond. I'm a grown ass man, bro.
Around this time, Cassidy responded to Repo with Raid, a diss track over 10 minutes long where Cassidy raps over several beats, similar to the classic diss track by The Game titled 300 Bars. The track title is a double entendre referencing both the bug spray as well as an acronym for Robert Ass is Dead, as Meek's first name is Robert. He also uses the phrase in the song on his last verse. The artwork for the song is one of the best parts, as it's essentially a parody of the Raid bug spray with Cassidy spraying a roach photoshopped with Meek's face on it. Cass raps over the beat for over a dozen songs throughout the diss, including classic tracks like Tupac's Ambitions as a Rider, the Diplomats' Dipset Anthem, and Boogie Down Productions' classic diss track, The Bridge Is Over. It starts off with a sample from the Meek Mill interview where he was asked by Shaheem Reed about which two battle rappers he would like to see go against each other, and Meek chose Murder Mook and Cassidy, and proceeded to speak about how good of a battle rapper Cass is. It's a great way to start the diss track off to me, as it shows that Meek dissing Cass is hypocritical, considering it seems he looks up to, or at least used to look up to, Cass as a fellow Philadelphia rapper, and getting into a rap battle with him probably isn't going to bode well for Meek. He also takes aim at Meek for things like his yelling when he raps, as well as Meek's claim that Cassidy is a snitch. Give the song a listen to get a better scope of how hard Cass came at Meek. I think it's really one of the more underrated diss tracks from around that time. Meek then had an interview with Hip Hop Since 1987 in which he was asked about the beef of Cassidy and if he was going to respond to the diss track. Meek proceeded to explain that he's not interested in going back and forth anymore with Cass, and things like Cass isn't even welcome in Philadelphia anymore, and he doesn't want to be asked any questions about the beef in other interviews.
First of all, we're gonna get this out the way too. This is one last time. And this only for a Finny interview. Any of y'all niggas ask me about a Cassidy question, we're gonna cut the interview. This of hip hop, this Philly, so we're gonna do whatever. We ain't got no limits to this interview. But first of all, cuz he a weirdo from the town. We ain't gonna use his name no more. Cuz he a weirdo from the town. He can't come back to the city really. Last 5 times he been back to the city, he was back here with me or either AR.
Then some months later in August 2013, Big Sean released a single, Control, which became a trending topic, largely due to Kendrick's verse, which essentially overshadowed both Big Sean's and Jay Electronica's verse due to the fact that he called out a lot of his contemporaries like A$AP Rocky, J. Cole, Drake, and Meek Mill, some of the biggest newer rappers at the time. Several rappers responded to that track like Papoose, Joel Ortiz, Lupe Fiasco, and of course Cassidy. Cassidy's response included a line referring to his beef with Meek. Then shortly afterwards, Meek released the track Kendrick You Next, which is a diss track to Cassidy, as well as letting Kendrick know, as the title says, that he's next. Meek raps over the beats for Hit 'Em Up, Who Shot Ya, Ether, and Wanksta respectively. Very fitting given the nature of the track. Meek sends shots at Cassidy again for being broke and not being able to afford $100K for the rap battle, as well as bringing up Cassidy's near fatal car crash that happened in 2006, and left him with broken bones and that scar on his face with the lines, "I said, come on with your soft ass, all you niggas all trash. Couldn't bet 100 grand, nigga, that's a small tab. I'ma hit him where it hurt. This gonna make his dog mad, cause this verse gonna hit his nigga harder than that car crash that you should've died in. I'm mad that you survived it." Now to me, lines like that are the type that take this out of simply battle rap and are fighting words. However, some people say there's nothing off limits when it comes to lines in a rap beef, but hey, everyone has their limits. Shortly after this track, Meek did wind up releasing a diss track aimed at Kendrick, so at least he kept his word on the title. Personally, I do like Kendrick You Next a bit more than the previous diss track, Repo. I feel like Meek went harder, and I like the beats he chose for the track as well. Cassidy then came back again with a diss track to Meek Mill, that being Catch a Body, in which he rapped over the beat to the classic diss track Second Round KO by Cannabis towards LL Cool J. That is yet another beef that has been covered before on the channel, so if you haven't seen it yet, check it out after this to see how that beef went down. On Catch a Body, Cassidy raps for 7 minutes, throwing a barrage of insults Meek's way, like calling him gay, dissing his fashion sense, and questioning his street credibility. He also sends a shot at MMG head Rick Ross with the lines, "I got a bunch of rhymes, you say the same ish a bunch of times, and I know Rick Ross, the real Rick Ross. Your boss stole his name and got him pissed off, cause he was really in the street knocking bricks off, kilo after kilo, and yours was a CO." Of course, this was after Ross was outed for being a former correctional officer, and several people were using that against him, mainly 50 Cent, who was beefing with Ross at the time. Cassidy also responds to several lines from Meek's diss tracks, like the claims of Cassidy snitching, and responds to Meek's line about Cassidy's car crash with the lines, "I was jumping in ciphers while you was in diapers, so don't disrespect a grown man cause I'll cut your arm off and then smack you with your own hand. Man, you said I should've died in our car crash? Well, I'ma soak you in car gas and light a match. You should stop writing raps cause your bar's trash. I'll have your fraud ass looking like cigar ash." Like Raid, this diss track also goes on for quite a while with plenty of bars at Meek. At this point, the diss tracks had died down and things continued on social media for a bit, and the situation was talked about in interviews by both parties. Cassidy, for example, had an interview on Vlad TV in 2014, and when asked about the beef of Meek Mill, he states that he was friends with Meek before Meek was famous, and that it was strictly a hip-hop thing.
You and Meek Mill went back and forth.
Yeah.
Last year. Have you guys talked at all since that whole back and forth?
Nah, we ain't talk. No.
How do you feel about that whole situation?
It's hip hop, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, the media try to make it seem like it's on some street beef or something like that. Like, I don't want nothing to happen to Meek. Like, you know what I'm saying? That was my homie. I was showing him love before the whole world even knew who he was. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I wish him nothing but the best.
Good to hear that a rap beef doesn't have to go further than lyrics. Have you seen the other videos in the Meek Mill saga? Then you know that they usually involve someone getting physically assaulted at some point, like Quentin Miller, Safari, and Beanie Sigel. Watch the videos in the description of this video for the details on those situations. Then in 2015, Vlad interviewed Cassidy regarding the whole beef between Drake and Meek, as it was one of the biggest things in rap at the time, and of course Cassidy had beef with Meek prior to that, and Cass essentially stated that Drake came harder than Meek did.
Because Meek started it, you know what I'm saying? Started putting out the shit on Twitter like he always do. I'm thinking he got something in the chamber. I'm thinking he ready to go crazy on the ball. And like Drake said, like he a singing nigga, so you're not really expecting him to even jump in the bag that he jumped in. So he surprised me. He did more than what I expected. And Meek did less than what I expected.
That's the general word on the internet, is that people were expecting a lot from Meek. And Meek did start the whole beef and so forth, so you kind of assumed he had some crazy shit in the chamber. And, you know, when the disc came out last night, I thought it was solid, but it wasn't the over-the-top shit that everyone was expecting.
Yeah, I didn't even think it was solid, to be for real.
The beef was seemingly squashed. However, they hadn't really spoken to each other according to statements Cass made in interviews.
Well, you and Meek went back and forth a while back. Have the two of you ever had a conversation or anything of that sort since then?
Nah, we ain't even talked since then, nah. We ain't talked since then.
I mean, at one point y'all two were friends. I mean, is there any chance of that happening?
Yeah, I mean, like I say over and over again, like Meek ain't never punch me, he ain't never shoot at me, he ain't never stab me or nothing. Like, me is a little misunderstanding. I felt he should have did one thing. He felt like, fuck it, I'm doing this way, and it's a misunderstanding. Like, everybody go through that.
He also would go on to state multiple times that they worked on songs together in the past and that it was basically easier to get along with Meek before Meek got famous. Was this really a matter of Meek getting famous and forgetting the people who helped him out when he was an unknown rapper? If so, that certainly wouldn't be the first time that newfound fame has caused issues in a friendship. What do you think about the beef between Meek Mill and Cassidy? To me, this was another beef that really seemed to start over a misunderstanding, but I'm glad that thing stayed on wax and didn't devolve into a bunch of tweets and Instagram posts or escalate into serious violence. Check out the other videos to get a fuller picture of Meek Mill and his rap beef escapades. Let me know in the comment section below if you'd like to see another group of videos focused on a specific artist like this one of Meek Mill. As always, remember to subscribe if you haven't done so already, click that thumbs up button to like the video, join the Discord server with the link in the description below to talk about hip hop and more, and become a channel member to unlock certain perks and support the channel further.